yeah. Whoo! What a game. What a game. Someone get the audio check in the chat.
Yeah.
Whoa, see?
Woo!
Got it. What a game. What a game. Someone get the audio check in the chat.
Yeah.
Whoa, see? We got echoes. Got it.
What a game. What a game. Someone get the audio check.
Whoa, see? Got echoes.
What a game.
Bear with me one second. We got some. Bear with me one second. What the hell? We got some. Bear with me one second. What the hell? We got some. Bear with me. We got some nonsense. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good.
And how about those Devils? How about those Devils? And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils looking to bounce back from a quite pitiful performance the other night against the Vegas Golden Knights, going into Montreal for the last game before the Four Nations break, looking to build some sort of momentum, something to be positive about over this couple weeks break where the NHL will shut down for the best-on-best international tournament. And it couldn't come soon enough. But thankfully, your New Jersey Devils go out on a high note, beating the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 4-0. Jake Allen having to stop a penalty shot with 15 seconds left to preserve the shutout.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Wow. It feels good, guys. It feels really good. Seems like wins have not been coming too frequent in 2025. Glad to see the boys handle business in Montreal and just kind of put their foot on their throat a little bit. But cheers to all my Devils fans. You guys already know, win or lose, we booze Dirty Devil Vodka, the official vodka of the great Martin Brodeur. Dirty Devil Vodka, guys. Smooth as hell. And I will be enjoying some of this right now. Wow. Victory Vodka tastes so much better than loser beverages. Cheers to all my Devils fan friends. Wow. What a game. What a game. What a game. And we get to the game. We get to the first period. A little bit of a feeling out process. Devils trying to work around the ozone. A Canadian tries to make a play on the puck, and Tomas Tatar grabs it, and he just throws it in front. Jesperbratt is charging to the slot, grabs the puck, and rips one past Montembeault.
Jesperbratt, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Where my boy at? Jesperbratt with his 17th of the season at 13:43 from Tomas Tatar and Dougie Hamilton gives your New Jersey Devils a 1-0 lead. And that is how the first period would end. Devils up 1-0 after one. And I'm like, okay, we finally are playing with a lead. Hopefully we could continue to generate chances and not look completely sloppy like we have been in some other games. And we head to the second. Devils working it around in the ozone. Jackhughes, as he's falling down, makes a beautiful backhanded pass. Can't stress it enough. This whole play starts with Jack making a beautiful backhand pass to the point. As he's falling, Jesperbratt rips one on net, and the rebound's just sitting there out in front. Paul Cotter kicks the puck to his backhand, and as he's going down on one knee, gets it up on the backhand and finishes.
Paulie. Yo, Paulie. Hey, yo, Paulie.
Hey, yo, Paulie! Paul Cotter's 13th of the season at 12:44, giving the Devils a 2-0 lead from Bratt and Jackhughes. And I can't stress, this play was just beautiful. From Jack making the backhanded play as he's going down, Bratter just rips it on net, rebound there, Cotter fighting in front, grabs it, kicks the puck to his backhand as he's going down and finishes. Devils with a 2-0 lead after two, and I was feeling pretty good. Obviously, not out of the clear yet. No leads are safe, especially with this Devils team. But I felt pretty good about it. Wanted, obviously, one more in the third to feel really good about it. And the third period starts. And Devils shorthanded. Brett Pesce gets the puck in the D zone. He hits Jack Hughes with a nice pass in the neutral zone, and Jack comes in on a 2-on-1 with Bratter. Defenseman's frozen, and Jack just takes it himself, rips one past Montembeault at 1:53 of the third, giving the Devils a 3-0 lead. Jack Hughes, 24th on the season, assisted from Brett Pesce. And the Devils had one more in them. They were not done yet. They had one more goal in them, and it came at 10:09. Devils working down low in the ozone. Timo with a nice pass. Timo just whips one across the ice off the sideboard. The puck banks off, and Luke Hughes in perfect position to step right into it. Rips a slap shot and in.
He's long, strong, and down to get the defense on Lucas Hughes.
Luke Hughes, 5th of the season, gives the Devils the 4-0 lead at 10:09, assisted by Timo Meier and Dawson Mercer. And
Lukey boy!
4-0 lead. That is how the game would end. Obviously, again, Jake Allen getting it seemed like a little bit of a gift of a penalty shot call. I mean, I've seen some other plays where I thought a penalty shot would be called and it wasn't. That one kind of seemed iffy, but I think the officials probably knew that the power play would do nothing. So, let's just give him a chance on a penalty shot. I thought it was a little bit of BS. But Jake comes up big on the penalty shot, stops him with the stick, preserves his shutout, and your New Jersey Devils with a monster 4-0 win in Montreal. Let's just make sure they've not changed anything on the game stats. We go to the game stats. Devils with 22 shots on goal. Again, would like to see more. 22 shots, it was enough to win tonight, but on a lot of nights, you're going to need more than that. Canadiens with 34 shots on goal. And again, Nico's presence felt heavily in the faceoff circle. Devils with 39% and the Canadiens with 61%. Nico can't come back soon enough for a ton of reasons, one of them being faceoffs. Maybe Fitz can get a third-line center that could win faceoffs. That'd be nice. But Devils absolutely owned in the faceoff circle. Devils 0 for 2 on the power play. Canadiens also 0 for 2 on the power play. Devils with 20 hits. Canadiens with 26 hits. Devils with 14 block shots. Canadiens with 12 block shots. Devils with 18 giveaways, and the Canadiens with 12 giveaways. And the Devils with 6 takeaways. The Canadiens with 4 takeaways. And it is a beautiful afternoon for this team, for the fans of this team. Cheers to you guys. We really needed this one. We've been down pretty bad. And let's see what you guys are talking about. I'm afraid. Zach says, win or lose, we booze. You already know what time it is, Zach. Always win or lose, we booze. Victory Vodka is the best. John Fay, not only does it feel good, it feels amazing to get a shutout. Love to see the shutout. Love to see it. It's an extra little cherry on the victory Sunday. Chico, people forget Jake Allen used to be a pretty good starter at the Blues. Got them to the playoffs a couple times and played well there. Every now and then he reminds us he's about that life. Yeah. What a game for Jake Allen. A 34-shot save shutout. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Winnie, glad we got the W going into the break. Everyone looked a hell of a lot better today. Not to say there aren't still concerns, but going into the break on a positive is big. Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that, like everyone else, that this break serves as a hard reset. Guys can get healthy and that we come back looking closer to the team we saw before the holiday break. Hopefully this break has the opposite effect. That break seemed to put us in the toilet. And hopefully they're improved coming out of this one. Obviously, Jack Bratt and Eric Halla will be playing in the Four Nations faceoff, which, as you all know, I am super pumped for. I think best on best international hockey. In my opinion, it doesn't get much better. I've always liked it since I was a kid. I'll continue to like it forever. And a lot of people don't like it. I get it if it's not your thing. It's not for everybody. A lot of people, don't care for it. I get it. But I'm super big in the best on best. So USA, rooting for them big time. James, Canadiens had a lot. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I can't read today. Canadiens had us under siege a lot of the game. We got lucky. We were able to capitalize on several chances. A win is a win, though. I will take it. Yeah, enough. We can't stress how good Jake Allen was enough. I mean, without Jake Allen, this could have been a loss. We could have been down early and been chasing, and the whole game could have played out differently. But thankfully, Allen wasn't there. He stood tall, and the team played good enough to win. Obviously, far from a perfect performance, and I'm not going to say that the team is back or, anything like that. But for what it was, again, I hate to use must-win. So unless they're really must-wins, I hate it. So, and I've talked about this time and time again. It's not a must-win, obviously, but it's a gotta win. Absolutely was a gotta win the way they've been reeling as of late, and teams just keep closing the gap. I mean, we've blown a big cushion, and nothing is secure, including the playoffs, obviously. Would love to finish either second or third in the Metro. The Hurricanes have been on a little bit of a slide. There was plenty of chances for us to catch up with them, and we've kind of blew it. But a monster win for your New Jersey Devils today. I haven't looked at the out-of-town scoreboard in a minute. Is there any other afternoon games going on? Let's see. Bruins. Lightning won. Yeah, and of course the Hurricanes won. Of course, on a day we win, they're going to win too, right? I mean, it is what it is. We got to just keep playing well and hopefully, swap spots with them. Take that second in the Metro. Robert, what's going on? Old man Rob here. Win or lose, you know the drill. Please let this break bring a new chapter moving forward. You're going to cover the Four Nations. So I am going to do some post-game lives for the Four Nations games that I'm home for. My schedule for traveling is not fully finalized yet. There's a lot of things up in the air that I might not know for a couple days, but I will definitely be doing a post-game live. I'll probably do the recap video as well. And I'll have some stuff, throughout the break, Devils-related stuff coming out as well. I have some stuff in store for you guys for that, but I will be covering as much Four Nations as I can. Like I said, I will be going to a game or two in Boston, so there definitely won't be post-games for that or probably the recap video, but I'll do what I can when I'm home for sure. Jared, Nemitz played much better in this game. Got to give the kid some credit. First game back was rough, but he made the proper adjustments. Yeah, maybe it really was just the jitters, right? First game in the NHL in months. Probably not he knew the whole world was watching him, all eyes on him. So it was probably just a case of that. He felt the jitters. He was a little nervous. He got that game out of the way, and he's looking to make a case to stay here. It's going to be interesting to see when Siegenthaler, have we heard anything else on Siegenthaler? I haven't seen anything else. He's probably out for a while. MD 2112, Jack Hughes will be a beast in the Four Nation tournament. It should be interesting. Curious to see if he gets his wish and plays on a line with Austin Matthews. I think that could definitely be interesting. But Team USA is loaded, as are most of these teams, and obviously Canada as well. But we got some highly talented offensive players in this tournament. It should be a very interesting one to see, and hopefully Connor Hellebuck could lock it down and net for Team USA and backstop them to a little championship here. Paulie Walnuts, what's up? Jack with the Lukey look off. Big brother learned something from little brother. When you have two snipers coming down in a 2-on-1, unless the defenseman makes some sort of erroneous situation. All right, so I'll rewind. For those that don't know, a lot of people don't know. So for younger fans or newer fans, in a 2-on-1, as the defenseman, the thing that is taught to all young defensemen is in the 2-on-1, you play the pass and the goalie's going to take the shooter. So when you're coming in a 2-on-1, your job is to make sure that the player with the puck cannot pass it to the other guy. So you kind of stay in the middle, take away that pass, and force the guy with the puck to shoot, and the goalie's going to play the shooter as well. And in that situation, the D-man couldn't have done much more. Jack was the puck carrier, and he beat Montembeault with the shot. So, the defenseman did the right thing there. But what a play by Jack. And I wish more guys would sometimes just take the shot instead of trying to force a pass. I think a lot of times you see, and especially with the Devils, where they try to force it sometimes versus just taking what they give you. And that was a classic example of Jack just seeing, okay, no problem. You take the passing lane. I'm just going to fire this thing past your goaltender. Love to see it. Kyle, Mikey McLeod wins faceoffs. Mikey McLeod's gone. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. We obviously feel his loss in the bottom six, but, what are you going to do? Nothing we could do now. Evan, hey, Ace, good win. Absolutely a good win. Beautiful, beautiful win. Yo, Snan, Nemitz and Luke pairing looked a million times better. Absolutely. It took some time. Nemitz got to get the jitters out of the way. And he's looking to stake his claim on this team going forward. He probably never, ever, ever wants to step foot in Utica ever again. Pulp Mystic, am looking forward to seeing Nemo try to cement himself at this level. He needs to be a piece. Time will tell. We will see how this all shakes out. Ted says, Ace, this team is back. I'm not going to go that far, Ted. Let me get 3 in a row or like 4 out of 5, something like that before I see they're back. But I think they are on their way for sure. Chico, I called out Jack last game. Got to give him props today. Goal and an assist. +4 on the day. I thought he played really well today. Hope he continues to shut me up and make me look dumb. Yeah, hopefully he does. Jack Hughes, when he's on, he's a money player. Captain Mafungo, love any stress-free win for this team? Yeah, we haven't seen enough of them. I love the 3-0 late leads. We're just like, just sit back. We got this one in the bag. It's just a question of whether they get the shutout or not, or, if any other guys are going to score. Love the stress-free wins. We haven't seen enough of them this year, but when they happen, beautiful. Traveling Devil, we have the goalies to go far, need the players in front to pick up their slack. I agree there as well. Definitely agree. Jake Allen has showed, a lot of people were down on Allen. I always thought he was capable of winning games. I've said it time and time again, but when the team just deserts him entirely, it's hard for any goalie to win. But if the team shows up in front of him, Jake Allen gives the Devils a chance to win every single night. John Fay, I don't know if you saw it, but if you didn't, Jake Allen is only 34 and Markey's 35. Would you think we should try and lock them down for another 3 years each after what we saw this season? 3 years each is insane, John. I think it's too premature for that. If I'm being honest about the goaltending situation, obviously Allen played great this year, but he is old, and you do have to start looking towards the future. I do believe we, let him explore other opportunities this summer, and next season will be Jacob Markstrom, and I'd probably imagine Dawes as the front runner, but Poulter, Yegorov, Jacob Malik, Brennan, we have a lot of goalies in the system. I do think next season should be Markey with one of the young kids to kind of get their feet wet to eventually replace Markey. Now, I do think if Markey plays well next season, there's a chance that Markey gets re-signed for another year beyond that. But in terms of Allen, unfortunately, I do think at some point you have to let a kid kind of take that spot behind Markstrom and get his feet wet, get some starts, and kind of be groomed to be the next guy in net for your New Jersey Devils. Daniel Pino Jr. with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Technical question for new fans. How do they decide which red circle? How do they decide which red circle? 2 on each net and 4 between the new line, the face-off. Which red circle? So I'm pretty sure if the puck goes out of play, they put it on that side. I'm just reading this. How do they decide which red circle? Yeah, it's the nearest one, I believe. When you see it chip out, yeah. My shit's frozen. Hold up. I lost my spot. I'm all messed up. Give me 1 second here. But yeah, it's always the closest one. It is weird that there is so many, right? You're like, wow, there is a lot of them. But thank you for the super, Daniel. Now I skipped a bunch of time here. Captain James, of course, it wasn't perfect, but it was night and day better than the game against Vegas. 1,000%. I mean, that Vegas game was painful. I mean, nothing looked good in that game. Probably one of the more discouraging games of the season. Today was a different story, but I do think to some extent Jake Allen did cover up. The Devils didn't play great. I mean, let's be real. 34 shots against is, a little too much in my opinion. But Jake Allen came up big when it mattered and put the pressure on the Canadiens after we took the lead and kept increasing it. Stanley, I'll take the win, but man, this team cannot start on time for anything. If Allen is any less sharp today, the final score looks a lot different. Fitzgerald still sucks. Yeah, that's kind of what I was just alluding to. Like, without Allen, we could have lost easily today. It wasn't the best game for the Devils, but again, good enough to win. And when you have good goaltending, that's what you get. But kudos to Allen. Did he get a star of the game? He definitely should have. Let me see something here. Yeah, he got the 3rd star. Jake Allen with the 3rd star. Jesperbratt with a goal and assist for 2 points as the 2nd star. Jack Hughes, a goal and an assist, 2 points is the number 1 star. Wow. Traveling Devils have been struggling also for 6 weeks. Yeah, ever since basically December 28th. Basically, yeah, about 6 weeks or so. It's been a brutal stretch, and now they have to play lights out down the stretch to hang on to, at a minimum, the 3rd spot in the Metro. Hopefully, try to get into that 2nd spot would be really nice. Seems like Washington is just going to run away with this damn thing. I can't believe it. Brendan plays. Jake the Snake Allen stole this game. I don't know if he stole the game, but he was a massive, a massive reason why the Devils won. That, his importance can't be understated. Rapid blue is the new black. We would all be feeling so much better if they could have played against Vegas like this, and we're going into the break winning too. Yeah, absolutely. But it didn't happen. And hopefully they figure it out. Maybe what Nason said after the last game, some guys took it to heart and forced themselves to look into the mirror. What is going on? What am I doing? Traveling Devils 76. Devils on a good day are more than able to beat Vegas. They took 2 from Florida at Sunrise. 2-1-1 versus the Caps, and I think 2-2 versus the Canes. Yeah, again, I've said all the time, the Devils have played well against better teams, and it seems like they struggle more against the lesser teams. Hopefully they just start playing good against everybody for the rest of the season. There's only 25 games left now. There's no more time to give points away. Every game is massive. Val, our goalies have been better overall than what is in front of them. I agree with that for sure as well. Markey and Allen have definitely played better than the team in front of them on most nights. Chico, I will never be angry after a win, but yeah, this game was a goalie difference to the moon and back. Whatever, they got the 2 points. Rest the hell up and get back to 100% after the 4 Nations break. Yeah, it would be nice. Health is going to be a big thing for sure. Billy, Bailey needed that win. Hope this team stays healthy. If we have any more injuries, I'll cry. Chico, they're only 2 points out of 2nd in the Metro. It's not impossible. They're still in a very good position, but this team needs to wake up ASAP. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because the Canes lost a few in a row, and we had every chance to catch them. And, of course, they win today like we do, so no change. But that Vegas game, winning that to go on to the break with 2 in a row and being tied with the Canes in points would have been really nice. Would have been really, really nice. Cody Skills will be there for the 4 Nations face-off in Boston. Very nice. I expect it to be awesome. Alex, can only jump into the live for a second. I couldn't watch the game, but I saw the final score. Let's go. You missed a good one. You missed a really good one. Steve Smith, let's go Devils. What up, Ace? Feeling okay going to the break on the right note and only 2 points out of 2nd. Things could have been much worse after our slump. It definitely could have been much better, but here we are, right? And so now we blew our cushion. We were in a great spot 5-6 weeks ago. They've slipped, and now it's up to them to finish strong here. It is going to be an absolute dogfight almost every single night. I expected a better performance out of the Canadiens this afternoon, if I'm being honest. I mean, I guess, they did play better than the score shows. Obviously, Jake Allen was the difference. The Canadiens are now 6 points out of that 2nd wild card spot with Ottawa and the Wings, and the Jackets are at 60. Do they play tonight? Let me see. Rangers, Blue Jackets, 7 p.m. I don't even know who to root for in that one. I'm torn. The Jackets have 60. The Rangers have 56. Yeah, I mean, obviously the thing is we don't want it to go to overtime or a shootout. We don't want it to be a 3-point game. That's the worst case scenario. We definitely want someone to win in regulation. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I hate the Rangers, but it might be, that might be a game that we'd rather the Rangers win. Alex, hearing reports Jake Allen has an arrest out in Montreal. He's being accused of robbery. He certainly shut him down real nice today. What a bunch of high danger chances that he saved. And then obviously the shootout. Wow. I mean, the penalty shot. All right, let me. So many comments here. Donnell, just to let you know, I ordered me a Team USA Fanatics Premium 4 Nations jersey late last night. Thanks to you. I got size 56. Love the jersey. You got me into buying the jersey. Thanks, sir. Yeah, no problem, Donnell. Thought people would want to see it, in real life. Great jersey. I love the design. It's a little bit different than anything else they've ever done. A lot of them in the past have seemed repetitive, but there's been a ton of beautiful USA jerseys over the years, but I really like the new one for sure. Meadowlander, amazing to hear the Bell Center go quiet. Not easy to do. Getting shut out or trailing for most of the game is one way to do it. What a disappointing game to go to for the Saturday afternoon crowd in Montreal, huh? They probably feel as dejected as Devils fans did leaving the Rock the other night after that Golden Knights game. Jared, if Nemitz earns a spot, hypothetically, who goes? I say we trade Dougie for some forwards. What say you? Want to state I'm not a Dougie hater. I just think he gets paid a lot and holds some value. I don't think they're going to make any big trades like that this season. Now, do I think that could be looked at in the offseason? Absolutely. I did prefer to trade Siegenthaler before the injury just because he makes a good amount of money, and I think he's more easily replaceable. If Dougie leaves, everyone's going to see real quick, how we miss him offensively speaking. But I'm not against any trade if there's something worthwhile, but I'm definitely not trying to trade Dougie for the sake of trading him. And if another team forces them to retain salary, then it really becomes, to me, not really worth it. If they could trade him with no retention and the other team's going to take on his whole salary, I definitely consider it, obviously, just because we have so many defensemen and need forward help. So what you're saying makes sense, Jared. But I do think people are really just dismissing how much offense Dougie does bring. Jack, the team isn't back or anything like that until they prove they can win 4 in a row. Until then, there's more to be desired, at least for me. For some reason, winning 4 in a row is elusive. I'm not hanging it on 4 in a row. If they won 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, or they, win 6 out of 8 or 8 out of 11, something like that, I would say that's back. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 in a row. And you technically could win the Stanley Cup without ever winning 4 in a row. So I'm not a hard 4 in a row guy, but you need to win, over a sample size, you need to win a lot more than you lose, for me. Jack McCabe, +4 today. Love seeing that. True Patriot, they are now 8-9-2 since Christmas. I feel like it's got to be worse than that. Is that correct? 8-9-2? Vincent, how do you feel about the team going forward? Do you think moves need to be made? What would you do? Yeah, Vincent, moves definitely need to be made. I believe that when we're on top of our game, they're much closer to the team we saw dominate in December than the mess we've seen in 2025. Personally, I just think we need a third line center and like another bottom 6 winger, in my opinion. Upgrade 2 of the guys on the bottom 6. We need more scoring. We need more heart. We need more grit. So I would like to see a gritty third line center and another winger for the bottom 6 who preferably has some grit and dog in them. Obviously a bigger splash would be welcome as well, but I think a lot of people are expecting like a big name just because some of these other teams brought in big names. Because of salary cap restrictions and a bunch of other things, I don't think that Fitz is really looking for a big name per se, but I do think he eventually brings in some of these bottom 6 type guys to help the team at or before the deadline. True Patriot, smash the like, 134 in here. Yeah, thanks, True Patriot. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. M Sharp, smash the like. Thank you. John Fay, Kane smoked the hockey club 7-3. Yeah. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get some help from them, but you got to control your own destiny. Insane Pollock, Pollock, the schedule is about to get rough after Four Nations true test coming. Yeah, we're playing some of the heavyweight hitters of the Western Conference, and they're going to have to come out of that break ready because the schedule is not easy. Richard Tompkins, it's just a matter of which Devils team shows up as of late. Once Nico and Markey get back, it's time to buckle down and show what they're made of down the stretch. Let's go Devils. Michael Miranda, I'll take a win before this 2-week break, but need to get back to that form we had in December during that time. Shh, you're not kidding. James Israel, the Devils have a real opportunity to win it all this season. Fitz has to call up the Blackhawks and add Ryan Donato. He'd be the perfect piece. Donato, one of the many. I'm not going to get caught up on individual players. I've said this time and time again as well. I think there's a lot of guys in the league that can help us. I will say, Ryan O'Reilly is my number one want. But as long as Fitz gets a couple pieces that could help, I'm not too picky on who they are. There is so many guys out there. Donato being one of them, he would be a great third-line center for this club. So we're going to have to see what he does, but hopefully he adds some pieces sooner than later. And maybe, I don't think it's going to happen during the Four Nations. I'm curious to see if GMs are active during that time or if they kind of, use it as their preliminary, just kind of feel what's out there, talk to some other GMs, and then everyone starts making moves after the break and before the deadline. We'll see. Michael, during that stretch in December, we looked like a deep playoff run contenders. Michael, we set an NHL record, Michael. 7 straight games allowing 20 shots or less. I firmly believed that we were super legit, super legit. I still think they are, but the slide has caused me to pump the brakes a little bit. If I would be lying if I said I was as confident in them right now as I was on December 23rd when I was at the Rock watching them smack the Rangers down. A lot has changed since then, and so I still believe, with some help, that they could still go on a deep run, but they have to get the consistency there. They have to show up every game and not have games like we saw the other night because that was tragic. Dimitri, smart game today. Nason's message eliminated too much of the cutesy crap. It's definitely possible. Like I said, maybe those words really cut some guys deep, and maybe that's what they needed. Jay, that's the varsity jacket. Where did you get it? I got this at the Devil's Den team store, I think a couple seasons ago. And to my knowledge, they're long gone and they don't sell them anymore. A lot of times they do limited releases where they'll sell something for a month or a couple weeks, and then once they're gone, they're kind of gone. So as soon as I saw this baby, I was like, oh, I went over to the rack and I was like, oh, yep. It was an immediate purchase. I need more Devils gear. Like I need a hole in my head, but I have an issue, guys. I have a sickness. Seth, hey Ace, what's going on? Seth, John Fay at Insane Pollock. We never had it easy on the back end of the schedule. This back end of the season, back end of the schedule, yeah. The schedule makers showed us no love this year. I mean, we had some brutal stretches coming out of that, the Global Series coming back from Czechia. Chico, Ovi's going to break the goals record this year, and that emotional high will be the peak of the cap season. They'll start to deflate and have a disappointing playoff run, calling it now. I hope you're right. That would be awesome. What does he need, 16 or 17 left? I lost track. I would love to see him break the record live. I mean, what a moment in hockey history. Kyle, cheer against the Rangers always. Anything less is a loser mentality. We need to win, so it doesn't matter what happened. Well, yes and no. I mean, in the end, they're both teams that we need to stay ahead of. So, Samuel, happy with the 2 points. Spilled points can't be picked up. Oh, that is so correct. Wanted to see their captain put in a hurt locker. Yeah, I didn't think anyone was going to do anything to Suzuki, unfortunately. And it is what it is. This is the modern league now. I'm an eye for an eye guy myself. I would like to see someone cross-check him, and especially when we had the big lead, right? It's like, oh, we're up big. Maybe get some revenge now. The game's over, but we didn't see it. Devs fan 125, that penalty shot call was absolute BS. I thought so too. I thought that was a gift. That was a definite gift. And Jake Allen, baby, the snake, made a huge save to preserve his shutout. Traveling Devil, I don't think so, Chico. Unless they go to the Bruins route from a few seasons ago, I'm expecting the Caps to go far since they have bought in all season. Interesting. Any update on Markey and Nico? No, we're not going to know anything. They're not going to update you. Hopefully they both come back for the first game after the Four Nations, but we have no idea. A lot of that's going to depend on what happens with them between then and now. I would love to see them both back. For that first game on the 22nd against the Stars. But it's possible they both miss some time after that. The least amount of games they miss, obviously, the better for this team, as we just staggered to the break here. Chico, hockey is just an emotional mental game. I don't think they'll have much energy past the Ovi record. We're going to see. Chico, I am cheering for Ovi to break the record, though. What was it? Goal 700 that he got a standing O at the Rock. Yeah, he scored his 700th at the Rock against Mackenzie Blackwood. And got some love from the fans for it. John Fay says, Chico, you think Ovi's going to break it this season? I think at this point, most people think he will, which is crazy going into the season, considering how many he needed and that he missed a ton of games with injury. Wild. What a freak of nature Ovechkin is. Wolf Rockin', what's going on? Hey, Ace, I'm ecstatic over the win. Would have loved to see Big Mac in the lineup to get some payback for Nico's injury. They let them off way too easy, in my opinion. Let's go Devils. Yeah, they do. No one does it anymore. It is wild that back in the day, you'd see revenge and payback. Not so much anymore. Insane Pollock, that is now 10 straight at the Bell Center. That is crazy. That is crazy. 10 in a row. That's almost unheard of. Like, you may never see something like that again in quite some time. 10 in a row. Antonio says, do not trade Dougie, our only scoring grace on defense. Death to Kong says, Dougie hate is asinine. Samuel, remember last year without Dougie? And this is what I tell people when they start talking about trading Dougie. I said, remember what happened last year when he went down. The season pretty much went completely awry. And I think, do I think they could survive without him? Yes, but I do think his presence will be felt and people won't realize it till he's not there. Jared Barnes, Siegs was number 1 PK before the injury. Vic saying Jake the Snake. Chico, 28, so it'd be close, but he might be able to do it. Metalander, how about this forward name? Yeah, Jack Eye. The name looks like my Wi-Fi password. Good player for a walk-on. What do you mean by a walk-on? But yeah, he is a defenseman. I think he has a brother, but I don't think his brother. I thought his brother was with a different organization. I don't know. I'm too lazy to pull it up right now. Yeah, he is a defenseman. Wi-Fi. John Fay, he needs 16 more goals in 28 games, and if he gets a hat trick at all those 28 games, he will definitely do it, but just doesn't need to be hat tricks anyway. Works. The chase of the record is going to be interesting. I think he does get it, but it's going to be so close. It's going to be so close. Philip, we should keep an experienced goalie for Yegorov. Well, maybe in a few years from now, Markstrom will say, I'll be the 1B guy. I'm a little older now. Hopefully he already won a cup with your New Jersey Devils. And he's like, I want to stay in the league. I'm okay with playing 30-ish games. Let me stay on for another year. I don't think that's that crazy either. Vince, needed a little confidence boost going into break. Let's get healthy and get after it. Completely agree. Completely agree there. Jared, definitely flipped my opinion on Siegs after the season. Yeah, for sure. What a bounce back year. And maybe he was hurt a lot of last year. That may have been a contributory factor to how bad he looked at times last year. This year, him and Kovacevic were one of the best defensive pairs in the league for a while. And, maybe being healthy and playing with Kovacevic is exactly what he needed to turn it around. But now he's down, and we don't know how long he's going to be gone for. Chico, Fitz is very good at finding buried treasure and plucking it from other teams. I want Ryan O'Reilly, but I trust Fitz to find a Ryan O'Reilly-like at half the price. That'd be great. I think he obviously knocked it out of the park with Paul Cotter. Love me some Paul Cotter. If he could do the same for a center, that would be phenomenal. London, I miss Nico Hischier so much. I think we all do. John Fay, when do they ever show us love, Ace? Are you talking about the Devils or other fans? The Devils show it once in a while when they show up. Nico Leishman, I missed this game. How much better did they play today? Well, I'd say they played a good amount better, considering that last game was one of the worst performances of the year. But it still wasn't like, oh my God, what a great game. They played good enough to win, and they won largely in part because Jake Allen was an absolute beast. Kaylee, I'm the biggest Devils fan, but when Ovi's about to break the record, I'll be watching that over any Devils game. Okay. Hockey history, that's fair. Late to the chat, but wow, needed that one. Yeah, we definitely did. What a win. What a win to go into the break on. George, what a great game. And George says Hughes owns Canadiens. Yeah. One of the other teams he seems to play very well against. Obviously, his stats against the Rangers are insane. The Jack Hughes domination of the New York Rangers is something that should be studied. I don't really know what exactly it is about certain games or teams that make certain players, including Jack Hughes, rise to the occasion. But I'm not going to complain. For whatever reason, he brings it against the Rangers, and it'd be nice to add a few more teams to that list where he just dominates. Yeah, Jared, his nickname is Wi-Fi. I know. I forget who the originator of the nickname was. It was one of his teammates. It is a very fitting and sensible nickname, considering it literally does look like a Wi-Fi a Wi-Fi password. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, that's pretty clever, whoever came up with that. QQ, what a game. Nice to have basement dwellers around to remind us what we're capable of. I mean, listen, I do think Montreal is a little bit better than their record indicates. With that being said, I wouldn't say they're necessarily basement dwellers. They're more of like, well, let's see. Yeah, they're like a bottom third team in the standings, but they're going to be looking to make a push for the wild card too. I mean, they're not that far out of it. A lot of teams, if a team could get hot and win a few games in a row with some outside help, I do think the wild card is going to go down to the last, probably the last day of the season. I think there's just so many teams all very close in points. And with the loser point, as I've said a million times, keeping teams around longer than they probably should be. You could see one of these teams, some of these teams get jumped by the guys trailing them. Philip says Washington will have the Jack Adams curse next year. Is there a Jack Adams curse? Are you talking about the President's Trophy? Yeah, it seems like, wow. Winnipeg and Washington may be battling out for that President's Trophy. Joe Mama, hopefully this break is what the guys need to bounce back and get into playoff form. Oh, the schedule makers. Yeah, we'll never get love from the schedule makers. Never, ever. Insane Pollock Ace. It does seem we are a bit more lax defensively with Nemitz in the lineup. He definitely was better than in the Vegas game, him and Luke. Yeah, that's part of, in my opinion, just the wild inconsistency of this team. I don't know that you will ever be able to necessarily pinpoint it or figure out exactly what it is. It just seems like some nights they have it and some nights they don't. And hopefully coming out of the break, we have it on more nights than we don't. Jeep, University of Florida now studying Jack Hughes' domination over the Montreal Canadiens. Samuel Cotter has been the best offseason find. Hard for me to say best, but obviously it's great. I thought a lot of the offseason finds were great by Fitzy. Obviously, Nason, especially a little bit earlier, he's cooled off a little bit, but Nason was on a tear. He was a great find. Kovacevic, we robbed from Montreal. Jacob Markstrom. So many good additions in the offseason, but now's the real test for Fitz. What's he going to do in season? What will you do in season to improve this team? And that's where my judgment's going to come. In season. Now it's the real game time. Chico, people complain that Jack seems aloof, but I think his domination versus the Rangers is proof enough that Jack Hughes is a devil at heart. Okay. Paulie Walnut says Devils are the Canadiens' daddy. M. Sharp, Devils bleeding the red off the Montreal jerseys. Joshua Lee, let's not pretend Nemitz played good tonight. I watched him get way out of position 6-7 times in our D zone. Canadians didn't take advantage, which is why it didn't matter. Yeah, he wasn't exposed tonight. I thought he played better than his first game. Could he improve? Sure. Curious to see, with when Siegenthaler comes back or whenever he's healthy, I do think they're going to push Nemitz back down and he'll probably freak out and that could become a whole thing. And maybe this is partially a showcase for a trade. I'm not saying that that's definite, but I still think it's possible that he's dealt. I do. Just because we have so many defenders. JT, can't figure them out. One game they play like crap, the next game they play to win. Yeah, the consistently inconsistent New Jersey Devils, which has been the biggest issue plaguing them all season. They got to play consistent. And when they play good, they're capable of beating anyone. And when they play bad, capable of losing to anyone. That's just the way it goes. Samuel, got to play better against the heavy teams that can forecheck. Got to play better against everybody. Wolf, I'm worried about Nico, Ace. Since the team has put him on the IR, I'm praying he's not out for the rest of the season. We really need Nico. Oh, I don't think there's any chance he's missing the rest of the season. Now, is there a chance he's going to miss more time than we thought? It's possible. I mean, they never tell you exactly what the situation is. So does he have broken ribs? I don't know. Are they fractured? Is it just bruising? We don't know. Hopefully it's nothing that serious and he returns sooner than later because we clearly sorely miss him. Our best overall player. Chico, the Habs are probably another year out still. They just need Slav to take another step and they'll be a dangerous team. Yeah, they have a lot of great young talent. Slavkovsky's a beast. Suzuki. Montembeau's pretty solid. I could see them, with a couple right moves. They're still Line A. They have some weapons. Krungs, I'm kind of sad to see Nemitz playing how he is. I was really hoping he would give the team a reason to keep him around. Well, I'm starting to think that Casey should get another chance. It's all possible. All of this is possible. Jared, Markstrom is definitely the best offseason find, no question. I mean, there's so many good ones, right? But Markey's definitely right up there as well. Yo, Holmes, don't know if you saw it, Ace, but Igor Shesterkin is out 1 to 2 weeks now with an upper body injury. I did not see that. Man, that's a couple injuries on the season, right? Is that guy injury plagued? I don't recall that. John Fay, him being out doesn't matter to the Rangers. He has 2 weeks to heal during Four Nations break. That's also true. Yo, Holmes, Nico and Halla are staying in Montreal for the Four Nations, so it looks like they're both feeling better. Nico? Do you mean Jack? In the first Four Nations game. Yeah, I'm pumped for the Four Nations. I really am. Where's that schedule? Wednesday the 12th. Game 1, Canada, Sweden. Jesperbratt. Obviously, if USA's out of it, I'm rooting for Sweden. Samuel, Fitz has that Z in his name for a reason. Z for the season. You guys are brutal, man. Listen, you can't expect them just to make a move right now because, other teams did. I think the moves will happen, but a lot of people want it like right now, and I get it. You're watching all these other teams improve, and you're like, where's our trade help? I think it's going to come, but, it might not be as soon as some of you want. I mean, it is what it is. We're not going to have a ton of cap space, keep in mind, so the moves might be depth moves, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that smack talk whatever players we bring in. They're going to be like, this is supposed to help us. But there's a lot of guys out there that could help, in my opinion. Daniel Pino with another super. Thank you, sir. Nico, the NHL is as secretive as North Korea. Well, about the Nico injury, Daniel, it's not the NHL. It's the Devils. It's the teams. It's up to the team to report it. And they're always going to be as vague as possible. So it's always upper body injury, lower body injury. And then beyond that, it's always, day to day, week to week. And that's it. So everything is basically one of those things. Upper body injury week to week or lower body injury week to week. And they don't really want to give you, much more beyond that. So we're not going to know. I'm hoping that Markey and Nico are both back for that first game after Four Nations. But it's going to take time to tell. We're going to see how they heal up during this break. Chico, sometimes slumps kind of become themselves, especially if you can't really take a break. You blink and it's been 6 weeks and you still feel like shit. I'm hoping this long Four Nations break resets it. Yeah, it's been a brutal 6 weeks. And I'm sure there's other guys playing with little nagging injuries too, Jack included. Hopefully we look like the old Devils coming out of the break, and it's going to be a real test. The pre-playoff drive. Pulp Mystic says Nemitz for Pettersson. I have zero interest in Pettersson. He makes a ton of money. I think he's another guy that doesn't play the type of game we need. And so for that reason, I'm out on Pettersson personally. I want some dogs. Dogs. Chico says no way the Canucks do that. Vic says deal. Krung says, God, this team doesn't need Pettersson. I agree with you. I don't want him at all. Chico, they'll want a forward back for Peterson, and quite frankly, I don't think or Pettersson, and quite frankly, I don't think EP is a good fit for this Devils team. His mentality seems soft as wet toilet paper. I agree. Supposedly, I read some more stuff like JT Miller kind of told him off, and he got in his feelings, and that kind of set the whole rift and started the whole JT Miller thing. No, thank you. I'm a hard pass on him. Krungs, you guys whine about how Jack gets tossed around. Pettersson stands still to let his ass get beat. Yeah, I only want dogs. No more softies. Krungs, I think the hockey guy said it, but it's kind of crazy how relevant gambling is now that they don't disclose injuries. You'd think that create conflicts of interests. Conflict of interest. Krungs, the whole world is a conflict of interest if you really think about it. Even stuff in the government and company, it's all just super shady. The life seems to be one more, just one big conflict of interest. But the gambling stuff is crazy. It used to be taboo and frowned upon back in the day. And whenever someone referenced like gambling, it was like, oh, you can't do that. Like that's illegal. And now that it's become legalized, they're literally shoveling gambling down everyone's throats 24/7, including kids. Kids are watching these games. And you're constantly talking about gambling and the lines and bet on player props. There's full segments and pregame shows dedicated to it. I think it's the most dangerous thing there is out there. But people are going to learn the hard way. You could really do long-term damage to your life in the blink of an eye with gambling, for real. Samuel, as soon as he did last year, like a goalie after the door was closed. I hope not. Listen, man, I'm still mad about last year. I was on here talking tons of smack for a long time. And, I do believe still to this day, if we brought a goalie in earlier in the season, we could have potentially clawed our way into the playoffs. I really do. And for that, I will never really get over it. I feel like last season was truly a flushed away season. Wolf Rock and Ace, when Casey was up with the team at the beginning of the season, didn't he score a bunch of goals, or am I just thinking hopeful? I thought he did. I think he had 3 and some other assists, but he just looked so impressive. His speed, his vision, his shot. He's going to be a great player. He's absolutely going to be a great player. I hope it's with the Devils and they don't trade him. But I do believe you're going to see him in the NHL in the not-too-distant future, either on the Devils or elsewhere. John Fay, what's the matchup for the 4 nations? So every team plays the other team. So it's USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland. So every team plays every other team, and then the 2 best teams play in the final. John Fay, we don't need softest. We need the junkiest of dogs the league can offer and we can afford. I'm with you, Fay. Give me all the junkyard dogs we could get. Chico, not to get political, but yeah, senators and congressmen insider trade out the wazoo and make millions. The world is a giant. Yeah, exactly. These people are setting policies and doing all this shit. And it's like, oh, somehow, I heard yeah, Nancy Pelosi made like $200 million in the stock market. Like, is that not a conflict of interest? These people are making policies and doing shit that affects companies, or they get information earlier than other people, and then they financially benefit off it by doing insider trading. That's just one great example, Chico. I wasn't even thinking of that one. But there's literally millions of things just like this. The world literally is a scam. It's all a scam, guys. The inside Pollock, I know it's wishful thinking, but imagine we went on another 13-game heater after the 4 nations break. At this juncture, we haven't been able to win 4 in over 2 years. A 13-game heater just seems like so far into the galaxy of unrealistic. I would be ecstatic for a 5-game heater. 13 games, I don't even know what I'd be doing at that point. What would my life become? A 13-game heater? Yeah, I don't know. It'd be dangerous. Wasted Youth Comics and Action Figures. What's going on? Go Devils. What a win. Been drinking since 1 p.m. Canadian time. Love Canada and America. Don't agree with the team booing. What team booing are you referring to? Chico, that said, F the sports books. They so quickly got their grimy fingers on everything. Money makes the world go round. It's all about the shmoney. They're the biggest sponsors for the DraftKings Lounge and the, what's the other one? DraftKings and my mind's blank right now. But all these companies, they're sponsoring, huge sponsorships in the arena. Their shit's plastered all over the place. I think there was a DraftKings Lounge temporarily in the Rock. And all these big money companies are going to continue to, influence and market in the sports world. FanDuel, that was the other one. Thank you, Joe Mama. My mom was blank. FanDuel's everywhere. Fanatics has a sports book now. Fanatics, the biggest, basically, sports company that there ever existed, between memorabilia, merchandise, apparel. Fanatics has taken over the game. They have a complete monopoly, and now they also have a sports book. It's crazy. It's crazy, but this is the world we live in now. Sports gambling, guys. Alex, I wish I could go back in time and watch games without the constant betting advertisements. It's incessant. It's never going away. It is never going away. Allen should be a starting goalie in the playoffs. For what team? M. Sharp, I would never be able to enjoy a game if I bet on it. I like betting on certain stuff. I used to bet more when I was younger. I don't bet nearly as much now, and never on the Devils. Sometimes I'll put in future bets, like to win the cup or to win the conference or something like that. But it does add, if you're betting on your team, it definitely adds another layer of stress to it. Philip says Casey had 4 points, 2 goals. Okay. Krungs, I'd rather keep Casey than Nemitz at this point. Casey will be the better player, I think. I'd rather keep Casey just because of his mobility and kind of how he's a puck-moving D-man who could bring some offense. I don't think we have many other guys like that. Obviously, Luke is our best example of that now, aside from Dougie Hamilton. But in terms of going forward into the future, we have more defensive defensemen versus the mobile puck-moving offensive defensemen. And I think Casey and Luke could be 2 great guys to have on a blue line. Round robin tournament. Insane Pollock lost $10 on Luke not getting 3 shots. His total was 3 shots. Chico, agree. Every time that guy gets on TV, I want to tell me it's not too late to bet on this game. I want to throw a brick at him. Oh, yeah, meme coins. That's another scam for sure. All the people or leave you holding after the coins get driven up to a certain, they do the rug pull, they drive the price up and then they sell it all and there's no money left. Yeah, it's all scammy stuff. John, the insane Pollock. We need to go on a 4-game win streak before we can repeat our 13 game. Exactly. Insane Pollock. Look at where our tax dollars are going, and then they flip out after getting caught. Oh boy, that's a whole nother thing. I haven't kept close tabs on it, but I've seen bits. I've seen bits and pieces of it, of that sort of stuff. And again, I don't know if some of it's true. At this point, when I see shit now, it's so crazy. The world we live in today, when I see something, even if there's a video of it, but especially like, anything that's in text, but whatever, it's like now you have to question almost anything. It's like back in the day, like you had credible source and whatever. The lines have been so blurred in with technology and just everything now, is that you just never know if what the information you're hearing is even true or not. But I will say, and with AI now, there's pictures and videos that are all fake. But I will say, in terms of the tax dollar stuff, some of the headlines I've seen about things that tax money was paying for is absolutely bananas. I've been meaning to look into it to see if it was true or bullshit, but I've seen tons of it. So I have to believe at least some of them are true. And it is absolutely mind-blowing. Completely mind-blowing. Wolf Rock and Ace, I'd absolutely love to see Scotty Stevens come back as a defensive coach or even a head coach. He hated to lose. I think he'd be awesome behind the bench. You, brother. He's already done this, though. And I just don't think it's for Scotty. I don't think he likes it. I think he kind of is a reserved guy and just likes chilling. And, because he had such a long career and did so well for himself financially, I don't think he would ever want to go back to the grind of being that involved with hockey. It just seems like he's enjoying retirement. And I really just can't see it. But he was the assistant coach with Adam Oates for a little bit there. And, it was with some bad Devils teams. So it's hard to really gauge what his impact was. But, I would love him being around the team in any capacity, just like a lot of those old timers. I just don't think he has any interest. I think he loves being able to do whatever he wants every day for the rest of his life. And, he's earned that. And what a luxury to have. ESPN bet. Yeah, there's a million. Pulp missed it. The gambling in sports now is horrendous. FanDuel. John says, I just avoid betting and gambling in general. Wasted Youth comics and action figures. The booing of American teams in Canada when the national anthem is on and the Canadian teams being booed in America. Yeah, I think that's all silly stuff. But, you know, people like outrage and people like to stir the pot. So that's just another example of that, in my opinion. Dire Wolf, good to head into the break with a W. Vibes aren't awesome. Need to get healthy. Hopefully everyone is back on the 22nd. For sure. For sure. Samuel says, bet with a book. Don't pay the tax. Yeah, I was I was betting on stuff 20 years ago before all this stuff was legal. Wolf rocking. I agree with letting Scott Stevens be a head coach or assistant coach because he's a lot like Herb Brooks. Not getting 3 shots on goalies. Yeah. Okay, that was for Luke. He must average around there. I'm assuming they make the total usually around what the season average is. Cape Dweller, it went from lines being posted on the screen to the play-by-play man saying, here's the line, to now the play-by-play reads the line. Yeah. Gambling, guys. Get used to it. It's not going anywhere. Amagi just got back from the official viewing party at Ribs Hub in Tom's River. It was an absolute blast. Great food and awesome energy from the crowd. How many people were there, Amagi, and what kind of food was it? I've always thought about going to one of these things, but I'm a homebody. If I'm going to leave my house, I would prefer just to go to the game. Obviously, you know, Montreal, a bit different story, but I do enjoy watching on my couch with my own amenities. SST claims crypto made him a millionaire. Pump and dump. Thoughts on Bastion so far? Seems pretty non-existent for the most part. He played a lot better after he came back. He had a couple assists early on, and he's hit some people. But, you know, if I'm being honest, in the end, it seems like him and several other guys in the bottom 6 could be upgraded. I mean, at some point, we need to place a premium on production. And going into the playoffs, we need all the offensive help we could get because we are top heavy, obviously. When the big guns are going, things are good. And when they're not going good for them, then sometimes, you know, they're not going good for the team. So I'm not opposed to upgrading, like I said, a bunch of those guys. We have to see what Fitz is able to do, but I would like to see upgrades. Chico, now you have to question everything. I forgot who said it, but someone said we live in the post-truth era, and it feels so insanely real. Yeah, there's just nonsense everywhere. I'm like, damn. And when I hear it, I always thought people lied. Like, so when people would tell me a story in person, I'm always like, that's probably bullshit. But now it's like you just see stuff. Everything has an agenda, a slant to it, and it's like, what is the truth anymore? You know, certain things you can't bullshit, right? It's like, how many goals does Jack Hughes have? Like, that's a very concrete thing you could look up. But there's so many things that people just, it's wild. I like that, the post-truth era. Insane Pollock says it's money laundering 101. Explain to me how it's money laundering, because I feel like people throw out the term money laundering a lot, and I have a great grasp and comprehension of what money laundering is. So I'm curious to know, when you say it's money laundering 101 in St. Pollock, please elaborate on what you mean by that with it in relation to the sports gambling. John Fay, sports betting and gambling is going to be the downfall of sports, in my opinion, because if you bet on something and it doesn't go your way, you just lost money out of your wallet and bank. Yeah, but how is it going to affect sports? Tim, hey, should Mercer and Hamilton replace the injured Crosby and Pietrangelo on Team Canada roster ahead of the Four Nations face-off? I think, you know, that's a dream for Mercer that I think there'd be a million guys, unfortunately, that they would consider before him to replace Crosby. And as far as Dougie goes, I'd imagine he probably would be one of the guys considered. But again, because Canada has so many D-men, there's probably someone else they're going to grab for that spot as well. I think I heard it was Drew Doughty, actually, was going to take his spot. Can't see it for Mercer. There's got to be a ton of guys. Vic says I'm kind of over Bastion. Amagi, place was packed where they had to get extra tables out. Food was bar stuff. I had a burger, fries, wings, and this dessert, coffee, alcohol drink, and a can of devil's stick toss. Nice. Amagi, I went to the one at Bar A last season, and having Adam Henway there doing the PA announcements was amazing, let alone TJ the DJ playing all the in-arena stuff. TJ was there today, but not Hamway. Okay. John says, how was the crowd when we scored? Amagi says, crowd was amazing. I recorded videos of every time we scored and when Jake stopped the penalty shot. Very nice. John, I meant lives, not sports. Gambling affects lives, and that could be either good or bad. I don't know why I said sports. Got it. Okay, Mark Scheifele. Yeah. Canada's got a wealth, a never-ending wealth of guys to pick. I mean, they could probably put together a whole second team that would be pretty nasty. I'd imagine Canada, they could literally make like a B team for the Four Nations, and it would be a phenomenal team also. Krung says, Amagi, was the can of stick toss also $16 like at the Rock? Well, that's a good question. I'd imagine it was way cheaper. I don't think they're charging arena, even at a bar. Bar pricing is not as egregious as arena pricing. There's nothing more disgusting, in my opinion. And it is a turnoff. It is unfortunate that, you know, you're paying a lot to go to a game and they feel the need to whack you upside the head with all the concessions as well. Shout out to all the teams that have consciously made affordable concessions. I remember seeing with I forget what teams, but teams in other sports have had, you know, I don't even think they're specials. I think they're just everyday purchases at the arena or stadium where they have like fairly priced food. Unfortunately, that's probably not coming for the Devils anytime soon, but, you know, $1 hot dog night would be something. A lot of people have mentioned their interest in that. I don't know why they can't bring it back for one night per season. I think that would be a promo that fans enjoy. Alex, he has 63 points in 56 games this year, and he didn't make their original roster. Yeah, exactly to my point. They could probably make a whole second team that would be pretty dangerous. Amagi, $10 for the can, and you get 6 free wings with every $10 can purchased. Oh, that's a deal, dude. I would have probably plunked down $30 and been like, give me 3 brews and these 18 wings. Let's run it. Yeah, Krung says, Amagi, that sounds like a good time. Absolutely. Neither did Josh Morrissey. Tons of crazy omissions. Philip, good night all. Let's go Devils. Good night, Philip. Krung's Utah is really cheap food and beer, apparently. Yeah, there's tons of teams. Tons of teams that offer some friendly stuff. Vince, how crazy is it that Blackwood is in the Vezina talks? I'll be honest, I'm not that shocked. I've talked about this before, but I defended him. I had a lot of friends that wanted him gone like at least a couple seasons before the Devils moved on from him. But he always showed there was games where you're like, this kid could be great. He just looked really out. When games he was on, he looked phenomenal. And then he was very inconsistent as well and would fall apart in other games. But when he was on, he looked like he could be a stud goalie. And on a good team, even when he went to San Jose, he had pretty good numbers on a bad team. And I told people, if this guy ever gets on a good team, he might get it all together. And when he got traded from San Jose to Colorado, I was like, this kid's going to probably win a cup with them now. And I believe he will, at least one. I think he wins a cup with them. But it is unfortunate that, you know, the Devils, the timing didn't work out. It took him too long to kind of get it all together. And I think he improved a lot, you know, with playing on that bad San Jose team, but good for him. I have no beef with him. If the Devils aren't involved, I like to see him do well, even though I hate the Avalanche because of that 2001 Stanley Cup Finals. But John Fay, what would you do with Allen if you don't think we re-sign him, Ace? I would do absolutely nothing. We have him for the playoffs as insurance in case Markstrom, hopefully the playoffs, in case Markstrom gets hurt, and that's it. You move on next season. Insane Pollock, money laundering in Congress. Oh, yeah, these people are getting away with murder. It's completely insane what some of these politicians are able to get away with. Amagi, the cherry pepper wings were awesome. I loved it, and the can was served in a super chilled glass. Very delicious. Service was awesome, and a guy from Tom's River came by to thank us. Very cool. Alex, with the way goalies develop, it's not that insane. He always had the raw talent. Yeah, I agree. He showed flashes. Even I remember some nights, me and my other buddy were like, "Oh my god, like this guy's are we?" And we defended him for years. We thought he was really the next franchise goalie, and he just never could be consistent enough. He had those injuries, and it was all kind of a mess. Amagi, he said the Devils were 1-15 in events they hosted. That's terrible. Wolf, got to run. Great show as always, my friend. Looking forward to the Four Nations and your take after the first couple games. Have a great night, brother. Let's go Devils. Let's go Devils, indeed. Samuel, I think we draft good goalies but can't develop them. Well, we got a bunch right now. Yegorov's looking like a beast at BU. We got Malik, Brennan, Poulter, obviously, Dawes. I mean, if one of these guys can't be the next guy, there's huge problems in the organization. Let's go Devils 95, 2000, 2003. A few sports venues have lowered their concessions to fan-friendly prices. Don't know if The Rock will ever do it, but at least it's happening throughout the country. The Devils aren't going to ever do it. They're in that money, money. They're in that money mode season. I can't ever see it happening, but good for those teams that do have it. Alex, he could go back to being terrible in a season or two. Very few goalies are consistently great their whole careers. Also true. Krung says, I guess Dawes comes up if Allen is gone. I mean, I would be stunned if Allen is not gone for next season. I don't think Jake Allen should be on the team next season. But who knows? Maybe the Devils say, let's run it back with the same tandem. I could see it. But then at some point, to me, you're kicking the can another year down the road of kind of grooming the next guy. And that's why I do believe, if I had to guess, that next year it will be Nico Dawes or one of those other kids in the 1B role playing tandem with Markstrom. John Fay, so would you want to trade him for picks or another asset, or just let him sign with another team if he wants? Just let him sign with another team. We need to have him for the playoffs as insurance. So there's no point in cashing him in for whatever you'd get from him, which probably wouldn't be much, even though he's played well. I don't think you're going to get much for him. Or maybe Poulter to keep Dawes playing. Meadowlanders, the Bean Pot on national TV. Yegorov is starting in net for BU. Yeah, Yegorov is starting in net, and I believe it's on ESPN Plus. I was able to watch it with ease the other day and watched Yegorov beat Harvard. I believe they're all on ESPN Plus. Monday night is the final, BU versus BC. A big one. A big one. Alexander Price missed the game due to stupid work. Obviously, I can't watch this team because when I do, they lose, and when I don't, they kill it. So maybe you should never watch again, Alexander. For the good of everyone. For the benefit of the team, just don't watch anymore. Paulie Walnuts, hey, Amagi, does that place in Tom's River have more viewing parties coming up soon? I'm not that far from Tom's River. Tom's River is super far from me. Wow. I guess today would have been a good one to maybe go to the watch party and then head to Atlantic City after. Man, I should have thought of that. That could have been an interesting one. John Fay, so keep him for playoffs and let him go. Call up Dawes or Poulter to back up Markey next season. That's what I would do. That would be my preferred situation. Or, again, maybe not necessarily Dawes or Poulter, one of the other kids, but I think it seems like Dawes is going to get his shot. But one of those other guys could have a phenomenal camp and kind of maybe push Dawes out. But I do think it's going to be Dawes' kind of spot to lose, if you will. So someone's going to have to really step up to push him out. But again, Malik, Yegorov, Brennan, there's no shortage of guys to really try to push for that spot. Alexander says, Camp, been watching for 28 years. I love them. Reaper Crew Garage, hell yeah, I live by Atlantic City. Always a good time. Yeah, I'm far away, but Tom's River is like on the way there. So I guess from Tom's River, you're talking probably like, 45 minutes-ish or so, maybe an hour tops from Tom's River to AC. But I'm trying to fix season. But the place looked like I was too poor to attend. Wait, what is that about? What's that about, Amagi? Man, I'm just so happy we won this game. Another stinker before the break would have been painful. Alexander, I travel down to Wildwood a lot and always travel by AC and Tom's River. Man, I haven't been to Wildwood in years. Always like the beach there. Watch the tram car, please. Haven't been down there in years, but I'd like to get back at some point. Cape Dweller, if I may ask, what county are you in, Ace? I am in Passaic County, but in a part that's like right very close to a lot of Essex County. Alexander, what's the deal with injuries right now? Will Nico be back soon? We all have no idea. We are all hoping that he comes back for the first game after Four Nations, but we're never going to know. The team purposely keeps you in the dark, and we're not going to know till he shows up. That's the reality of the situation. Hopefully he's back for that game. I mean, it's 2 full weeks from now. Hopefully that's enough time for him to heal up and get back on track. Amagi, my friends love their food too. One had a gigantic skillet of chicken and mac and cheese. Other had mott sticks and chicken parm. Place has good reviews, like a 4.2 out of 5. Oh, the previous watch party. Where was where do they even post these things? And about the watch parties. And in reality, I mean, what exactly does a watch party consist of? Is it like sponsored by the team in some way, or they just promote it? I'm unclear about what exactly a watch party consists of. All right, guys, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to use the bathroom for a minute. I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll start winding this down. Throw everything out there in the comments. Questions, comments, you already know the deal. On the bathroom break, throw whatever you got in your head out there. And we'll start winding this thing down when I return. Be right back. What a victory. What a victory. Be right back. Oh! Amagi, they post them on. Okay, so they post them on the Devils Facebook. The team sponsors it. NJ is there. The Woo Crew, TJ the DJ, possible. Okay. Wow, a lot of those people are probably closer to the arena, so that's quite a hike for all those people, I'm sure. Vince, can you imagine Ovi breaks Gretz and wins the cup? Talk about going out on top. That would be something. But I think he might have his sights set a little bit higher than that. And he still has 1 more year on his deal. He has next season. I don't think he would retire early, but you never know. I don't know. I just think he's one of those guys that really likes playing. Amagi says you basically feel like you're at the arena without actually being there because they tailor everything around the arena experience. They even play the Ric Flair promo during the 3rd period. Wow. Is TJ the DJ, the actual DJ during the games? Yo, Holmes, watch party for the playoffs. NJ had the Devils mascot with the Woo Crew, former Devils, and the in-rink announcer calling the Devils goals live, but that was 2 years ago now. Where were those at, Yo Holmes? Were those closer to the arena, or were they like kind of spread all out? Timo time, can you make trades during Four Nations? Yes, you can. There is no roster freeze, and teams can make trades during the break. Amagi, they play the warm-up music before puck drop, and if Adam Hanway is there, he announces the starting lineup, calls the goals, etc. It sounds pretty cool. It's literally all Devils fans cheering, chanting. I highly recommend it. Awesome experience. John Faisal needs to take a look. Sounds amazing. Yo, Holmes, I agree. Watch party feels as close to being at the game. This one was at Ribs Hub in Tom's River, but they do watch parties in multiple restaurants throughout the season. Red Devil, I'm in SC, but Bergen County is home. I wake up early before work to watch the games like this. Glad tonight was a good game. Used to ride my bike to the Continental Arena during the days of Brodeur. Wow, so you must have lived pretty close. That's amazing, being able to ride your bike there. Paulie Wana says he's going to keep his eye out for these viewing parties. TJ the DJ. I've seen him at a lot of other, the Devils have him at a lot of other events as well. Grant Marshall was there too. Nice. Yo, Holmes, I mentioned it before, Ace. This was at your bud's place, Justin Jakes in Montclair. He's not my bud, but I know, we have mutual friends. I've hung out with him a couple times. Shout out to Jake of Just Jake's fame. It's so funny. John Fay, so the Devils post these watch parties on the Devils main page. Yo, Holmes, Grant Marshall was Jake's too. Great gig. He gets paid to drink beers with Devils fans at parties. Yeah, that's amazing. Amagi, Baseline Social was the last one they had, and it looks upscale and too much for me. So it's funny you mentioned that. I went to Baseline Social once. It is pretty fancy. The prices aren't that crazy. It's not cheap. Nothing's cheap these days, right? Even like TGI Fridays isn't cheap. But Baseline Social was awesome. I was very impressed. It's like, is that in Monmouth? I forget exactly where it is. It's somewhere like down the shore. And it was a very nice place. Yeah, the Devils don't advertise these that much, I guess. The Devils Facebook page is the only place they announce it. There's so many people here that seem like, I've heard of them before and have seen a couple advertised, but a lot of people here, Amagi, are like, have never even heard of this before, which goes to show you how much better marketing could be done overall. Yeah, Devils Facebook page. Insane Pollock. I remember when Kevin Clark used to do the playoff watch parties. I went to one at a place in Lakewood. I think it was Bar A during the first round against Florida one season. Oh, I used to love Bar A back in the day. What a spot. Amagi, no one told me about the Bar A one last season. I saw it on Facebook. Luckily, showed up and had a phenomenal time. Paulie, Ace, enjoy the 2-week break away from the Doomers. Hopefully, we come back strong after Four Nations and go on a nice winning streak. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be back doing some stuff during Four Nations as well. And who knows? Maybe I'll have a live to talk about a trade or something. Who knows? Yo, Holmes, I had no idea there was a watch party until the announcer guy parking in front of my crib and I was outside gardening with my hat. They do giveaways, too. They gave away a Jack jersey, Nico jersey, 4 tickets to 2 home games, and a Tatar puck. Okay. All right. M. Sharp says Facebook is a scam. What do you mean by that? Why is Facebook a scam? I'm curious. Anyone got anything else? Closing time. What a victory. What a victory for your New Jersey Devils. Just looking at some cool stuff on my desk. This is a special one. I might make a video about this. There's something very special about this. Something very, very special about this that I may make a video about. New edition. Might do a video about it, or I might not, but something very cool. Damian, you can make trades during the Four Nations. You can make trades during Four Nations. Alexander, praying to see Jack set up a play for Quinn to rip one on Team USA. I'm sure you're going to see it. You will see it. John Fay, 10 straight wins in Montreal, a juicy shutout win to enter the Four Nations break. Beautiful way to go into the break. Would have been nice to be on a 2-game winning streak if we beat the Golden Knights, and we would have been tied with the Hurricanes in points, but it is what it is. Hopefully they come out of that break looking like a force, looking like an absolute force driving into the playoffs. Man, I just want to make the playoffs so bad. Not making it last year was just so painful. So painful. Yo, Holmes, just saw the highlights. Every Habs chance was Luke getting torched. Where's Larry when you need him? Love me some Larry Robinson. Larry's such a legend. What an absolute legend Larry is. John, now we got to come back from break, hopefully fully healthy and 100% and finish the season like a force not to be reckoned with. Yeah. Playoffs or bust. They got to do it. Got to do it, and then anything could happen. I'd be so jacked to go to playoff games. Oh, man. There's nothing like playoff games. If for those of you that are local enough to go to the arena, there's nothing like playoff hockey games live. And then, as the rounds go on, it gets more and more intense. But playoff hockey is phenomenal. The best couple months in sports, in my opinion. And, once you get to Cup finals, it's a whole different level, man. And I haven't been, it's now going to be 13 years since I was able to attend a Cup finals game live. Long, long time. Alexander, we make the playoffs. We got a chance. Amagi, never been to a playoff game, so I have to attend at least one this season. Oh, it's next level, man. It is next level. Playoffs is just a whole new world. A whole new world, and I cannot wait for it. It's been, by the time the playoffs come, obviously the last playoff game we played was 2 years ago, and I was there for it. It was Game 4 against the Carolina Hurricanes, and what a stinker that was. I was at Game 3 as well. Devils were down 2-0 in the series, put the smackdown on the Canes in Game 3, made the series 2-1, and then they couldn't tie it up. Game 4, a massive chance squandered on home ice. I do believe Akira Schmid should have started that game and not Vitek Vanacek. Vanacek got lit up. We were down 3-1, and that's all she wrote. Yo, Holmes, playoff hockey is the best ticket in live sports? Absolutely. John Fay says, Amagi, different atmosphere compared to regular season. John Fay, agreed, Ace, a whole new world when playoffs come around. Mm-hmm. Insane Pollock, who do we see when we face Colorado, wedge or black? It's just going to depend on the workload and the start schedule leading up to that. Either one, they both shut us out this season. And the Avalanche are a good team, so there's no clear cut, like there's no choice you'd rather have. If you're a Devils fan, it's like, oh, I hope I go against this guy or the other one. They're both very good. They both shut us out with two different teams. Wedgwood shut us out when he was with the Preds. And Blackwood with the Sharks. Alexander, went to a bunch of Avs playoffs games because my college was across the street from Ball Arena. Nice. M. Sharp says, plus the guy who was contracted to code the idea, Zuckerberg stole it. Oh, he stole it from the Twins? I saw the movie. I don't know how much of that was factual and how much was like based in fact. But it did kind of seem like he stole it from what are the Winklevosses or whatever, those brothers, the Winklevosses. Random man, now we just have to play the Canadiens at the Bell Center for like 25 more games, and the Metro is ours. Man. John Fay at St. Pollock, our biggest thing about Colorado is getting revenge on Natchez for that BS in Carolina. They're not going to do anything, man. Garrett, grew up in California, went to every Devils Ducks Cup game in 2003. Nothing like playoff hockey, let alone Cup finals. Hope the boys don't disappoint this year. Garrett, do you mean you went to every Devils Ducks Cup game in 2003 in California? So you went to games 3, 4, and 6? Is that what you're saying, Garrett? Force 831, in regards to picking up players down the stretch, don't disregard the role players. In 2003, I remember they got Grant Marshall at the deadline and was like, who? And played a big role in the Cup. Exactly. I talk about that one all the time. Grant made one of the biggest assists of the playoffs that year when he got that puck to Jeff Friesen for the late goal in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals in Ottawa against the Senators, which sent us to the Cup. Sometimes those little tweak adds that aren't so flashy on paper end up being big impacts to the team, and especially in the playoffs. That Grant Marshall one is a great example of it. What a great little deadline tweak by Lou Lamoriello to help that team win a cup. Alexander says, my fear is round 1 is Canes versus us. It's definitely possible. Garrett says, yes, in California. Oh, man. So, Garrett, you were there when Scotty Stevens crunched Paul Correa. That must have been amazing. That must have been an absolutely amazing thing to witness. I mean, obviously the Devils lost the game, and that sucks. But to be there for a hit like that, you saw Scott Stevens' history, baby. That was an absolute just, what a hit. What a hit. I can imagine all the people in the stands were like, what did we just watch? And probably stunned when Scotty just crunched. Amagi, one of the most fun games this season was that Carolina home game, so I can't imagine that on a playoff scale. Oh, wild. Random man, I went to games 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 versus the Panthers in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals in 2012. Was so fun. Yeah, you saw some good ones. The Panthers had home ice. So you flew back and forth? You must have been flying back and forth. John Fay says, by the way, Colorado won that Natchez Rantanen trade by a long shot, and it's showing. I mean, I still think you have to wait to see how the playoffs pan out and a lot more stuff before you rule who actually won and lost the trade. But a lot of people think that as so far. Yo Holmes says Grant Marshall brought the beef. Insane Pollock, Wedge shut us out last Colorado game. Okay, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, it was the Colorado, the 4-0. Yeah, I was there. And then, yeah, San Jose got it. And someone else shut us out for the Predators, I believe. Traveling Devil, the beginning of the end of Paul's career, for sure. Not a legal hit in today's game. Probably not. Yo, Holmes, I still remember when Stevens hit Correa, my brother jumped up and yelled, he's dead. Metalander, Correa has no memory of that hit or the series. Vic, Ducks-Devils rivalry is the best and very funny for me. My old team and my new one. Random man, I was on spring break, so I saw 1 and 2 in Florida, then saw 3, 4, and 6, and then Jay. Nice. Traveling Devil, I remember watching the game and I said, oh no, I thought he was dead. Red Devil, play heavier, edgier, more violent in the playoffs this year, and next year could be our year again. December showed us that. I still hope it's this year. I'm still hoping it's this year. Just get in. Just get in. Cape Tour Devils lost all 3 in Anaheim. Yeah, crazy. A 7-game series, and it was the finals, which makes it even crazier, that the home team won every single game. It's so crazy. Devils win games 1 and 2 at home, go to California. Ducks win games 3 and 4. Devils come back, win game 5 in Jersey, go back to game 6 in California, trying to win the cup. Ducks win it and then come back in 7 in New Jersey, and Devils win in 7. Wild. Home team wins every single game. John Fay, our biggest priority this season is locking us in a playoff spot with CBJ on our ass. I agree. Insane Pollock, he did close his eyes for a bit. He was out on the ice, and at one point, I think his eyes were doing a little twitchy. He was done. I remember when they had the camera, you could see when he was on his back, you could kind of see up his visor. Scary moment, but he was crushed. Yo, Holmes, Korea coming back to score a goal after the hit will be in Blackout City was unbelievable. It was. I thought he was done. And when he came back, I remember the crowd going crazy. And rightfully so. I mean, wow. What? And then he scored. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Does he? Does Korea hate Scott for that? I know he's been asked about it a million times. Beachmaster, I was at 03 Game 7, as was I. One of the greatest nights of my life. Easily one of the greatest nights of my night watching the Devils win in Game 7. Meadowlander off the floor and on the board. Great call. Miss Gary Thorne. Ted, what do you think? Devils are back? I'm not saying they're back yet. At all, but this is a step in the right direction. Vic, funny how Niedermayer was playing for NJ at the time, then goes on to play for Anaheim afterwards. Yeah, he wanted to play with his brother. What a loss that was. And supposedly Lou tried to get Rob Niedermayer to the Devils back then in a kind of ploy to keep Scott here. John Fay, Stevens was an actual devil in disguise with how he played, and it was a career full of beautiful hits, goals, and everything on top. Absolutely. Force says he legit hates Stevens. He said it flat on an interview, called him the dirtiest player. Interesting. Rob says, man, Marty should have won the Conn Smythe in 2003. I've talked about this a million times. I couldn't agree with you anymore. What a complete robbery. Just ridiculous numbers across the board. 7 shutouts in the playoffs, 3 of them in the finals alone. I mean, to not get a Conn Smythe after a run like that, it was a complete robbery. I couldn't believe it. The arena, you know, the announcers, I think, tried to give the arena some shit about booing, but like that was justified to boo. Like, I'm sorry, but on no planet should Jaguar have gotten the Conn Smythe over Marty. I mean, that was just so ridiculous. One of the biggest crimes in NHL history, in my opinion, was Marty not getting that Conn Smythe. Amagi, there was a dude at the watch party who yelled, "Give me more Cotter goals, baby." It reminded me of Ace. Oh, I went ballistic when he scored that. What an animal type goal. Just a greasy, grimy one. Doing the work down low, fighting for position. Rebound comes out, and he just kicks it to his backhand and roofs it as he's going down. Was amazing. Completely amazing. Yeah, 3 shutouts in the final, no goals through 60 minutes in games 3 and 4. It's crazy. Complete robbery. Meadowlander says, I still don't feel right about Need's number hanging in Anaheim. It does feel a little dirty. Cape Dollar, Korea's mask fogged up when he came to. Yeah, he was out. And then when he started breathing, I remember that too. What a crazy, they have that close-up camera on it. It's wild and scary. LJ says, Jaguar should have only won the Conn Smythe if he won the cup. Yeah, then I wouldn't have argued. All right, guys, that's it. It's all over. I'm done. I got stuff to do. Your New Jersey Devils bounce back from that disgusting game against the Vegas Golden Knights the other night where they looked completely lifeless and dead. Go to Montreal, stomp the Canadiens by a score of 4-0. Both Hughes brothers scoring. Paul Cotter getting a ridiculous one on the backhand. Jesperbratt with a beautiful shot. And, of course, Jake the Snake Allen with the 34-save shutout, including a breakaway. I keep saying breakaway. A penalty shot stop with 15 seconds left and complete insanity. Complete insanity. Devils now got to get healthy, heal up, and hopefully come out of the Four Nations break looking like the force that we saw back in December. I'll be back. I have a bunch of stuff that will be coming out during the break. I'll be doing a bunch of Four Nations stuff, probably including some lives. And that's it. I'll be back soon. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.